Good morning. Today is Saturday, September 30th. I'm going to do another garden walk today. Starting here on the deck with the loofah plant, which has been so much fun. This is the first loofah that ripened, and it's still heavy and very green. And the plan is to wait for it to turn yellow and then brown and dry, and then there'll be the sponge inside. So I'm anxious to watch this process since I've never done it before. But the plant itself has just gone crazy, and it's very impressive. I've got, you can see there's a big one in here. Hard to see with the leaves, but and there's a little one back in there. I'll go around the plant, but they are from one little seedling. I think I have, I don't know, 7 or 10, which have been really fun. This is the second one that ripened, and it just took over. This is the blueberry cage that we made, so they just took over. You can see them up in there. There's a big one and a little one. There's another little one here. I don't know if the little ones will make it till the end, because I assume it's going to take at least until frost in November maybe before they'll be ready to make into sponges. But I'm excited about them. It's just fun to watch them, and they're just everywhere. So it's been a fun process. First time ever growing loofahs, and I definitely will do it again. The flowers were pretty, and it's been fun. Down here is my moonflower and my grape tomatoes down, and of course the loofah is down in the corner. Took forever to start growing. I planted it in April or May. It didn't take off until August. But I'm still getting some grape tomatoes, and the moonflowers are still flowering, and of course I have the pudding stones from up north around there. I got my third delivery of the soil cube. Just started using it. And it's always fun to have that. There's the empty bag over there in the trash. There's the Mexican petunias along the house, and the Rose of Sharon that's been protected from the deer, and then the angel trumpet, which has not started blooming yet, hopefully soon. And then I've got the canna lilies and the banana trees and the elephant ears over here in the tropical garden. The 4 o'clock flowers that bloom in the morning. I don't know why they call them 4 o'clock flowers, but they're pretty. White and pink ones. And then of course the beautyberry, which is such a beautiful purple. The birds love it. Cardinals especially love it. And the canna lilies are just about done. There's one last one. And then the verbena on both ends of the garden. Really beautiful this time of year. The peanuts really have taken off. So it's just nice greenery around here. I may or may not harvest them. I'm not going to try to do anything with them probably, but they're fun to grow, and it gives me some greenery. The dahlias, and there's the dahlias are getting ready to bloom again. I cut most of them down after we got back from Michigan, and everything in this garden had really just fallen over due to the storms, and it was looking pretty sad. So the zinnias are still producing, though they're looking kind of bad now. But there's more dahlia blooms, more zinnias. More Cosmo back there, probably not going to make it before frost, but we'll see. And I was going to plant something over here, and then I was getting ready to dig, and I noticed, so excited to notice, I have little carrot seedlings coming up. And these were all self-sown. I did not plant these. This is from the carrot that I let go to seed, that I planted last fall, let it grow out into the flowers this summer, and it has seeded itself. So I'm very excited to see that. I actually let 2 carrots do that. There was an orange one back here, and then there was a purple one back in here. and all those flowers fell, or seeds fell. So I don't know which colors I'm going to get in there, but I'm excited. Hopefully they'll do well this winter. And then what do we got over here? The hibiscus is looking pretty bad. I'll be cutting that pretty soon. I have planted another container of potatoes that are doing really well. That's the only potatoes I have this year so far. Oh, I've got a blanket flower. These had looked really bad. I had them all along the front of this garden, and they, through the drought and us being gone, looked really bad. So I cut them all down, but they are starting to come back now for the fall. I put in some broccoli plants. This one's looking pretty good, but I am getting the caterpillar moths are coming, and so I've got BT on them, trying to keep them away. These little net baskets to try to help keep them off, but you can see there's some damage here. I'm trying hard to keep them away. I have planted a few pea seeds, snap pea seeds back there that I don't know, I thought some were coming up. Oh, there's one there, but something's eating it. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna make it. I've got one that's made it over in my garden, raised bed garden. I did move my coneflowers around, so I've given some more space to them. This is the red one. This is the purple one. These are the Shasta daisies. Another purple coneflower. That is a aster. And this is the yellow coneflower. And of course, a zinnia here. Cosmo. All these are broccoli for the fall. That is the bee balm back there against the fence, and the daylilies. These are my broccoli seeds I planted. They're looking pretty gangly. I don't know if they're gonna make it, but giving it a shot. I did move the lantana over here. They were tucked in my raised bed on the other side of the yard and way too crowded. So this is what I was doing in the rain that Tom videotaped me in the rain, digging this hole and moving these over here. So they're one here and one here. They're kind of sad, but they're pretty darn hardy, so I'm thinking they're gonna make it just fine. I've got some obedient plant that's looking pretty. First year I had those in the garden and they were like 7 feet tall. I kind of like them better shorter, but and this is not as good soil, so maybe that's why they're staying small, but I like them better that way. The passion flower, it really took off. I'm probably going to cut that back just because it's such a vigorous grower that I don't want it to take over, so I'll probably cut it way back this year and let it see what it does next year. This garden is really been kind of fun. So this is the phlox that blooms in the spring. And I put a couple annuals in here. These some patience are just amazing. This one I planted after I planted this one, which is just huge. I never would have expected that to get so big, but it's huge. I'm going to definitely try that again next year. Zinnia, cosmos. Again, they're so tall. They're pretty. They're blooming now. But I like them small. I like them shorter so I can enjoy the bloom without all of this greenery. But everything here grows so tall. And then this mum has just been, I've been watching it all summer. In the spring, I pinched it back. I've had it here for 3 years now, I think. And this is the first year it's done this. Last year I didn't pinch it back. I forgot that I'd planted it. So it stayed small. But the colors in the fall were really pretty. It's a mauve-y color, and I really liked it. And so I remember that this spring, and so I pinched it back a few times, and it's huge. So I can't wait for it to bloom. Hopefully it won't break. I got some wood under here trying to prop it up so it doesn't lay in the grass, so it's not in the way when Tom mows, but it's really pretty. And then I planted hollyhocks back there, and if I remember right, they're biennials. They did not bloom this year, but it's huge now. So I'm hoping that's gonna bloom next year, because I really like hollyhocks, and it's been a long time since I've had them. And these sunflowers have been so fun. The birds love them, and so even though it looks kind of bad now, I can't bring myself to pull it out until it's really done. And it's fun to look out here and see sunflowers. And so tomorrow's October. Here we are, they're small, but they're plentiful and really pretty. So, and this is the garden we see mostly from the house when I'm looking out the kitchen window. This is the one I see. So having these white flowers is great because they show up at night and they're just so pretty. The ginger lilies are still blooming. They smell amazing. And all the sunflowers there are done. And then, of course, this arch that I made for the morning glories is done great, except they don't bloom. They haven't bloomed. And I know last year my morning glories bloomed really late, much later than I thought, and then they were in full bloom when we got our first frosts. When I covered them a couple times, hoping to protect them. They were on the fence down there last year. So I'm hoping we get some before the frosts, because I love morning glories, and I love the looks of this, but I do wish there was flowers on it. But it is what it is. And again, more ginger lilies here. It smells so beautiful. And then, of course, the morning glories have gone nuts and climbed up the neighbor's tea olive bushes there, and there's everywhere. So if they actually bloom, I'll have blue flowers everywhere. But it's gonna be fun getting all those down. I'll be pulling those and cutting those forever to get those out of those bushes, but it'll be pretty if it happens. The brown-eyed Susans are done. Cut them back. This corner had the peony. I cut that out. And the lilies. This is the Pulmonaria, which didn't bloom much this year. It's starting to now, so maybe now that we're getting cooler weather, it'll like it. It's an annual. I didn't have great success with it, so I'm not sure that I'll plant that next year again. Here's the yellow lantana I got from Mom, and either side of it is where I had the two pink ones that I moved over there. I may leave this yellow one, just cut it back. I don't know. I know it gets big. I didn't know that when I put them in here. And I have an orange coneflower here that I'm going to move up probably where this Pulmonaria is, give it more space next year because it was pretty crowded. And I think, though these annuals are looking kind of sad now, I do like the color that they give along the front of the border, so I may do that next year. Put less in here, but just along the front like this, and let them drape over the edge. Again, the peonies were in the corner, took that out. Brown-eyed Susans are done. There's a coneflower here. This is a white coneflower I moved up. And this one, I forgot what that was. It was an annual, a perennial here I got from the food cupboard sale. Beard tongue. That was pretty. It got tall and purple, I believe. So, and this, I already forgot what it was, but I looked it up. It's in one of my Facebook posts. I really like it, except it does flop over. It's really tall. I got to figure out a better way to stake that up. But I really like the flower, and I also like it next to the purple asters, even though they bloomed a lot sooner, and so they're not as pretty right now. But I think the two together, I think they look really nice together. And then down here I've got little rain lilies that I tucked in. They're kind of a walk-by garden flower, and they don't do a lot until this time of year, but they're still pretty, and they're just sort of tucked in the edge there. I like that. I do think I'm going to take this wisteria down. I don't like the gangly look of it, and I bought this trellis that this wisteria has taken over big time. Look at this. I bought it for clematis, and I think I'm going to take the wisteria down, and look at the size of the trunk on it. It's huge. I think we're going to cut it down and let that be just for clematis in future years. So it just doesn't look pretty most of the year. The flowers, wisteria flowers, are pretty when they do their thing, but it's just too short-lived, and clematis will last longer. These are the tea olives. They smell amazing. It's a big hedgerow, and we've got them here, and then the neighbors have them all around us here. So just coming out in the backyard, it smells like perfume out here. You can see all the flowers on the ground. It smells wonderful. Now, the vegetable gardens are looking pretty sad. tomatoes all got blown over, and at this point they're so tangled I can't really lift them. So, but I'm still harvesting, so I can't bring myself to take them down yet, but I will. 4 o'clock flowers sort of hiding under here. They got knocked over, but I'm just leaving them till I have to take things out. Put in some more nasturtiums that are doing well. And I'm starting to take a lot of these things out. We do have, I'll go over here, the azaleas and the black and blues are so pretty together, I think. And of course the black and blues are still attracting the hummingbirds, so that's good. This is my rice, which I've been harvesting most of it because the birds were getting it. But here's one that's not, I haven't harvested yet. It's still green, so I'm waiting for that to turn brown. And I'm only harvesting it to replant it. I won't, this is not plentiful enough to eat, and it's also very time consuming. I got to get the hulls off of the rice grains is really difficult. You have to have some special tool apparently. It's just not worth it. If I grew a whole field of it, maybe, but just for that, it's not worth it. That's my purple pepper. I'm still got, they're small, but still getting a couple. The coleus, this is where my cream sausage tomato was. I took that out. This is the purple pot. This had a tomato that came out along with the marigolds. This one had a tomato. There's another broccoli. It's getting pretty big. It did get some cabbage worm damage, but hopefully it'll be okay. And this one I think had a tomato I took out. This is where my cucumbers were. They're done. I have one last tomato that I keep, one tomato plant that I am leaving here and harvesting. Excuse me, even though there's this lot of damage on it. But if I cut that part out, they're still good. Zinnias. This is a cool color. I like these. I love zinnias. White ones. The basil is huge again. I've cut that back a few times. I'm not a big basil fan, so I just give it away. Here's my carrots that I planted. They're doing pretty well coming up. I planted beets, but they are not coming up. I planted pea pods, and this is really the only one that's taken off. That one looks good, but there's another one here. It looks like somebody's eating that one. These are weeds. Yeah, nothing else is coming. Oh, here's some beets. Oh, look, I put some more beets in the other day, and they are coming up. So maybe. Here's hoping. So there's the azaleas up close, the black and blues. They're so pretty. Pinks and blues together. This is clematis. It's a very cool seed pod on it. And there's some more carrots that I planted, and I did that in the spring, and that worked out pretty good, so I'm trying it again. The strawberries, I dug my strawberries out of here. I've stuck a couple in here just as a holding spot for now. And this was full of strawberries. A lot of them died. It looked pretty bad. This bed needed to be filled because it was a new bed and all the dirt had sunk down. So I took everything out, added more soil cube up to raise the level of the dirt, and then repotted or replanted. I think I've got 12 strawberries in here. I had to buy 25 last year from the place that I purchased them from, which I knew was too many. And they grew out and over and they planted themselves outside the bed. And so I gave a bunch to friends. And like I said, I have about 12 here, which should be more than enough if they take off, and hopefully they will. I topped them with straw from the straw bale that was here. That I'd grown the morning glories, which are climbing up here, and a tomato in, and a watermelon grew over here. I had cantaloupe at the end of the garden. All that's done. But so now I'm going to plan is to put more broccoli at the end of this bed, and then next year I'll put melons in there because they can grow out and under the tea olives, and that worked out pretty good last year, so I'll do that again. And that's about it. I do have some moonflowers out here. And then that's going to be the poppies again. Pollinator garden of I was growing for monarchs. I got some milkweed there, and of course on monarchs I did get to watch it, the caterpillar turn into a chrysalis, but then a day or two later some predator took it. So next year maybe I'll try bringing them back into the aquarium again, keep them more protected so that it makes it to butterfly stage. But that is the garden in the end of September. And we look forward to fall planting. Have a good day, everyone.